Hi, traders. If you are new here, welcome. And if you are an existing subscriber, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sophie B. This is your weekly market recap for May 16th, 2025. So in this video, we're going to break down what moved the market this week, what to look out for next week, and some potential trading setups. Before we get into it, just a quick disclaimer. The content presented in this video is intended solely for educational and informational purposes only. This does not constitute as financial, investment, or trading advice. Thank you. So this week in the market, well, this week the market rose with SPY ending the week up at 5.3%. So it essentially erased the year-to-date losses, and it also broke that 570 resistance line that we discussed last week. So while we're talking about last week recap, we mentioned, remember we were watching Palantir as it was setting up in that cup and handle. It actually broke that cup and handle pattern, and it broke it and rallied. So hopefully, y'all did y'all research on Palantir last week. So just moving along, some of the key drivers this week was that the US and China finally reached a trading truce. They finally came to some type of agreement. So they have agreed that for 90 days they're going to reduce the tariffs from 125% to 10%. So that was one of the major like key factors in the market this week. So we also had strong company earnings, and 78% of the S&P companies surpassed their expectations. So that was that was just another reason why the market rallied. And also the consumer price index, or CPI, it also rose by 0.2%, which is still below the expectation of 0.3%. But this suggests that the inflation pressure is easing off. Okay. So as far as sector wise, the tech sector the tech sector was basically the reason why the market rallied, and the energy sector kind of lagged this week. Nvidia, so some of our notable stocks this week was Nvidia and AMD. They moved up after an increase in AI related technologies and favorable trade developments. And then Tesla showed some unusual options flow for the mid-May $340 strike price. So you want to keep that in mind as well. Next, we want to talk about Airbnb. So Airbnb is setting up for a potential cup and handle. Y'all will learn that I love cup and handle patterns because they just play out so well. So I always try to keep my eyes out for cup and handle patterns. Airbnb is forming that cup. It has already formed that bottom. It's kind of coming up on that side. So we want to keep our eyes out. That's that Florida in me. I'm sorry. So we want to keep an eye out for Airbnb this week. All right. So as far as options, because we are options traders, we are here for options. So we saw heavy put volume on Palantir. So this suggests that the institutional traders are positioning for a potential downward trend, but this makes sense because typically, because it just broke out of that cup and handle pattern. So typically, when the stocks rally like that, they tend to hit resistance and come down a bit. So that's also something you want to look out for. Tesla experienced a surge in call volume, indicating strong bullish sentiment among options traders. And then also, I just kind of want to let y'all know that Invesco had a large block trade for the September monthly option, and this trade was 38 times its daily volume. So that's something to keep in mind. So next week we're gonna look out for insights into the housing market, and its response to high interest rates and limited investors. So we're having a lot of moves with the housing market, and also we have earnings with the major retailers, which could provide insight into consumer spending and the impact on tariffs. Okay. So we want to look out for companies like Home Depot, Lowe's, Ross, TJ Maxx, or it's like TJX companies, stuff like that. So the key levels that we want to look out for is that SPY close. Matter of fact, let me share my screen. Give me 1 second. And it is on another screen, so y'all, I'm gonna be looking away real quick. I do have multiple screens. So we're going to look at, oh, that look crazy. I'm sorry, y'all. So, I have Palantir up here. I got Palantir up here real quick. And you see just how it broke out of, this is it breaking out of that cup and handle pattern. I just want to show y'all that because we did talk about it. So it broke out of that cup and handle pattern. And remember, our entry point was 120. It's currently trading at 129. So it did exactly what we needed it to do. And now I'm gonna just pull up Airbnb because this is the one that we're watching this week. So it turns out that so Airbnb actually experienced this cup and handle pattern on a 1 day chart. Okay. So that's kind of, yeah, it experienced this cup and handle pattern on a 1 day chart. So that's something we want to look out for. As you know, it hasn't started that, like it's forming the cup. It hasn't formed the handle. So we're just going to keep our eyes on Airbnb to see if it continues to form this cup and handle. Okay. As far as SPY, I did want to note that, or just to show you, like SPY rallied last week. SPY did its thing. Um, it closed at this 594 mark, and I would put a resistance line. We had that at 570, and I'm pretty sure it was one at 580. It's just easier for me to draw my support and resistance lines with the line chart. Mm. So I will put this line. That's about where it's trading at. That's five. Hmm. That's 597. And it's currently trading at 594. So I would watch out for that. Because it looks like from that, the next like support line would be around 585. And it's past that. So I would call that like 584, 585, like that would be my support line to watch out for, because you see it hit the point 1, 2, 3-ish, 4 times right here. And then it looks like a little hiccup right here. Let me turn it back to a candlestick chart. But I have a 1 year chart up just to show y'all. SPY also the 52-week mark is like kind of around 611. So that's also something you want to keep in mind because when the stock trades around the 52-week high, that 52-week high could easily be a resistance line and it'll hit that and come back down. So so the key points that we're going to look out for SPY this week, being that it's trading, so it closed at that 594.20. We want to look Monday, we want to look for it to, we're going to look for 599 and 584. Those are going to be our support and resistance lines that we're going to have for SPY. Now, so I would say for the week coming up, we want to keep an eye out for a bullish play on Airbnb. We want to keep an eye out for a bearish play on Palantir. And we want, I would do like a neutral play with SPY, and do our straddles, okay? So SPY, we're going to call SPY, we're going to play straddles on SPY, okay? Because it's right in between those support and resistance lines. And that's the only reason I say that, because it could fall down to support, or it could continue to rally, hit that resistance. It may break through that resistance at 599 and go up to that 611. But 599 and 611 are the key points that we want to look out for with SPY. All right, guys. So that is all I have for y'all. So let me know what setups y'all are doing this week in the comments, and let me know what stocks y'all are watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss a weekly update. And make sure you subscribe to our Discord chat. The description will be the link will be in the description below. And then I will catch you next time. So y'all make sure y'all stay focused and trade smart. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you next week.